12th of January, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
All right. Good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Samanavshi here in Yerushalayim Care Zoom. This is our second shir this morning. We're proceeding with a deeper investigation of the comments that the Mishnah Berura made in terms of a kohen who's mechabel Shabbos mefarhesia. If so, unfortunately, has a status of being a akum, and therefore he cannot duchen. So to understand this situation a little bit more clearly, we have a tshuva from Moshe Feinstein, Zechon Bracha. That's in his Chelik Aleph of Arachayim in Siman Lamed Gimel. So we can be reading from that document. And Mayor, if you like, you can begin to read if you like.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see. So it says, Hine Miktav.
That's an abbreviation. Keshet Torah L'Schachta. That's a reference to the question that was sent to Moshe.
Okay, so Keter Torah. Okay. B'davar Mechalalei Shabbat V'Hesia. About the matter of profaning Shabbat publicly. L'Nesiyat Kapayim. Can a Kohen duchen?
Right. Barry, you have your document there. This is the document we received yesterday on the Igros Moshe. You should have it there.
I think so.
Okay, very good.
Oh, Kibalti, that I received. Oh, okay. So he received this issue,
yes.
Whether a Kohen can duchen if he publicly violates Shabbat.
Right.
Okay. Umashalo Ishbati Kihu Mehadvarim Shekasha L'daber Bazeh. Okay, and
I think this is and not that I haven't responded, right?
Oh, that's respond. Okay. About these words that are difficult to talk about.
Ki hu mehadavarim shekasha l'davar b'zeh, because they're very difficult things which have to be discussed about this.
Okay. So difficult things to be discussed about. Okay. Aval kasher kibalti miktavo hasheni she mipatzir bi l'hashiv ani meshiv shelo yachashdani ke mizulzal chetvav b'kavod torato. Okay, but when I received his letter a second time, Shemaftzir,
that they were urging me.
Oh, urging me. Okay, to reply. I replied, Shalo Yechad, let's see.
Right.
That's suspicion?
Right, suspect me. Hashduni should not suspect me.
Okay, don't suspect me. She mizuzal, what did I was delaying or?
To treat lightly.
Oh, to treat lightly, chas v'shalom, the honor of Torah.
Right.
Oh, okay. V'hinei Medina af shemechalel Shabbat v'Hesia hu kilomar la'akum. Maybe I should stop there. Let's see. And behold here, Medina in this country?
No, Medina, from, according to the law, according to the
Oh,
Medina.
according to the law,
According
Medina.
to the law.
Oh, okay. According to the law, that one who profanes Shabbat in public, okay, who Kilomar, Kimumar, he is as a converted Gentile.
That's right. Correct.
Wow. That's pretty tough.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
Umitam ze savrei hachronim de pasul in siyat kapayim. Okay, this reason is explain the
And from this reason, or because of this reason,
because of this reason. Oh, okay. The Achronim explain that it is puzzle, forbidden to duchen.
right?
Okay. Ukidaraita. Got a lot of references here, I guess.
Kida Isa, as is brought, as is cited.
Oh, as it's cited. Okay.
That's the Mishna Berura, that's in the Mishna Berura.
Mishna Berura or
Chaim.
or Chaim. And forget Samik Kuf.
Sifkat and Kuf Lamed Dalet.
Oh, Sifkat. Oh, okay. Aval yesh lefakfek bezeh tuva ki lo klal hu lechol hadvarim. Okay, but lefakfek.
The fakfek is to question this very much.
No, to question this very much because kilo.
No, kalala kol hadavarim, because the psak of the Mishna Berura did not include all the details.
Oh, psak didn't include all the details. Oh, the ain itotai ita biyadei laharich. And there was not much time.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. There's not that much time for me to go into elaborate.
To elaborate. Oh, ach eich shetnimaha l'shitat harambam she'oved avodah zara pasul. Afilu asa teshuvah. Oh, even if he does teshuvah. Okay, so
meaning however, eich shenema. If we will say that according to the opinion of the Rambam,
what one does avodah zara, he's pasul.
Right. So Oived Avodah Zara is pasul, meaning someone who, in terms of a coin, if a coin was worshiping idols, the coin is.
So even with
and this is likewise and similar.
Similarly, if he desecrates Shabbat, okay. Shavu that if he does teshuvah,
Yeah, even if he does, even if he's
even if he does teshuva, zevadai lo nitain
Amar Klal.
klal. Okay, so he certainly can't give Hamir.
You can't say that. Meaning you have the Rambam, and the Rambam paskins that if a kohen worshipped idols, even if he does tshuva, he still can now no longer. He's forever and ever not allowed to do him. Right?
Oh, okay.
If you want to make a similarity to puzzle also somebody who is Mechalus Shabbos before Hestia. If you have somebody who is Mechalus Shabbos before Hestia, and he also did Tshuva, right? You can't make that jump. You can't make that jump to say that the Rambam would hold, even if a person was Mechalus Shabbos before Hestia and he did Tshuva, that would still render him puzzle to Duchen.
So that reminds me of the question I asked yesterday at the end.
Right.
I wanted to ask a question. Can I do that now?
Sure.
So I wanted to create a scenario where a Kohen who has no religious background, and he goes to India, and he hooks up with a guru over there and participates in those activities. And then for some reason, he comes back to America and gets involved as a Baal Tshuva.
Right.
So what do we say about him now? That do we say he can't duchen, or do we say this is a special case?
Okay, so that's you're introducing the situation of, say, a tinuk shenishpa, perhaps, maybe he's a tinuk shenishpa,
Right.
and, which that's another chapter in this question, right? That's if, so let's say, meaning if we can prove that, say, there are times even if he did tshuva, he'll be accepted. So then we can question the situation if he was unknowingly doing this. He didn't know that there was something non-Jewish about doing this. So we'll have to see, and we can hold on to your question, and hopefully maybe we can deal with it once we get some more general background.
I wanted to add something to that same situation. I had a personal experience in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Concerning a Kohen. There was a Cuban family that got chased out of Cuba by the communists, and they settled in Philadelphia, and they announced themselves as Kohanim. They seem to have had a background. But anyway, one of the sons, who was a friend of mine, married a Ge'eris.
Oh, wow. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So now, and that I met him after he married the Ge'eris. So
Right.
then it came out that, when he started to go to shul and people were, seeing what was happening, they said, they told him it's a problem.
Mhm.
So he was taken to Rav Moshe Feinstein by the community, people in the community. And Rav Moshe said to him, you can renounce your status as a Kohen.
Yeah, your kahuna, yeah.
Right. You can just renounce it and stay married to her.
Right.
Okay, but you have to renounce being a Kohen, and you can't be called for an aliyah as a Kohen, et cetera, et cetera. So there was, whatever happened after that is a different topic. But the point was that Rav Moshe told him, he said that in fact, there are many people who consider themselves Kohanim are actually not.
Right.
He said, so he says, it's in all probability, you're really not a Kohen.
Right,
So-
it could be that then a lot of people we think are Cohen or may not really be Cohen.
Right. That's what Reb Moshe told him.
Mm.
So it was very interesting that he said you just renounce, the kahuna.
Right, right.
You know, Barry,
Yeah.
in Jewish history, when Jews migrated from place to place, I read this in I think a history book.
Mhm.
Sometimes a person, just to gain some status in a community, and they didn't know him from Borscht because he migrated maybe hundreds, thousands of miles from someplace else.
Right.
That he told the community that he was a Kohen just to get the status.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So there again, we have a lot of people who are not really Kohanim.
Yeah. Wow. It's very, very deceitful to,
Yeah,
and it causes a lot of complications in the future.
that's
I
true.
mean,
Yeah,
Very true.
when Mashiach comes, there's going to be people who think they're Kohanim or not, and people who don't know they're Kohanim are going to be Kohanim. It's going to be, but it'll all eventually be straightened out. And
That's right. The Mashiach knows.
Yeah, he knows.
it all comes clean in the wash.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. Yeah,
That's for sure.
no
All right,
more.
we'll see. Ho-
Okay.
Hopefully they come soon, Mitzvah Shem. But that itself is another topic. The whole hazaka of a Kohen, what status, the general status of a Kohen. But okay, that's something else.
Okay, just
Okay.
to finish.
I just want to say, well, I didn't know in the beginning that I was a Levi.
Uh-huh.
And then finally I got to the point where, I wanted to do the mitzvah of visiting the kever of my Zaidi.
Right,
So I took a tracing of the stone
right.
and showed it to my neighbor. And he said, and I had been being called to the Torah as in Israel. So he looked at
Right.
this tracing and he said, "You're a Levi." So,
Wow.
so I had to go to the Gebayim and with the tracing and all that. It was so complicated because all of a sudden the next week I was called as a Levi. So,
Okay.
but that's how I found out through a stone in the cemetery.
Right. Right. Where was your with the Zaidi buried?
In Philadelphia.
In
Fortunately
Philadelphia.
for me, I didn't have to travel too far.
Okay. Very good.
And
Wow.
Wow.
that was that was an experience. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I know Malevi not by hearsay, but by the stones that are in the family stones that are in that cemetery.
Mhm. Okay, very good. Yeah.
And we had a similar situation. My wife went to the cemetery in Indiana, where some of her family was, and she found a tombstone of her great grandfather, and it said he raised up many students.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Wow.
We discovered that he had been a teacher. He was
Very
an
nice.
Orthodox rabbi and a teacher.
Very good. Look at that. You see?
And probably, Lou, in those days that he was alive, that was a very difficult parnasa. They didn't have big schools then. You had to really be dedicated to be a teacher in those days.
Especially in a small town in Indiana.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right, exactly. He probably had a cheder, and all that. So he was,
It was like 50 to 100 miles away from Chicago, I think.
yeah.
Wow.
So that I'm sure he was a very dedicated, sincere person to be a teacher in the Midwest.
Mhm. Okay. Let's go on a little bit more.
Okay, ve'im kain, chazinan shela'inyan nesiat kapayim, eino ke'oved akum.
Oh,
Okay, so if so, chazinan, we envision,
well, or we see.
we see, okay, that the Indian of nesiat kapayim, eino ke'oved akum, is not,
Meaning when it comes to a machal Shabbos before Hesia, right? To duchen, it's not the same as one who's worshiping idols.
oh.
Okay. He's going to explain. Yeah, we have time. We can go a few more lines. Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason is.
Okay, Vatam hu pashut the ha'af avodah zara gufia chazinan chalukim besof menachot b'shichita la'akum.
That's the person who did shechting. He was shechting, ritual slaughter for idol worship.
Wow. Okay. Af shechayav mita. So he's obligated to get the death sentence.
Right.
Wow. Kizirika, the Oser, the Hema, Yikomakom Kevan de Lo, Havoy Shirot, Lo Mipasil, Lerov Nechaman. Okay, so let's
Rav Nachman.
Oh, that's Rav Nach. Oh, the Rav Nach. Oh, Rav Nachman. Okay. So what, Sheikh? So he's liable for the death sentence.
So if he slaughtered for avodah zarah, even though he's obligated for the death sentence, kizrika, like just as if he actually did sprinkling blood on an idol.
Wow.
For oyster and that animal becomes forbidden, right? That animal becomes forbidden because it's used as an offering. Since it was used as an offering for the idol, it's forbidden. The animal that was offered up for the idol is forbidden. The kol
Nevertheless, Kevan de Lo Havu Shirot. Lo Mifsil Rav Nachman.
Nevertheless, given the lo hayishirus, it's not actual avodah zorah. It's not the actual avodah zorah. Lo mifsil Rav Nachman. It doesn't passel him, right? The person who did it doesn't passel, even though he's chayiv misa, but it doesn't passel him if he's a Kohen in this case, according to Rav Nachman.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm trying to understand. He shechts the animals, but he doesn't actually do anything with them after shechting?
They're right. He's offering. The slaughter is done for the sake of the idol, right? Right. So the slaughter of the animal is done for the sake of the idol. So even though a person who does that, if he has edus and hasra, if he has warning and testimony, the Beis Din can obligate him with a death sentence, right? And even though the behema is now forbidden, it's considered to be offerings that were made for idols, which makes it an Isser Hana. Nevertheless, the person himself does not become invalidated for doing the avoda. This is according to Rav Nachman.
Wow.
So what is this Kazarika? It's like he sprinkled. He didn't actually sprinkle.
Well, because like the slaughtering is like the zrika. Slaughtering is like zrika.
Okay.
There are four basic types of avoda, which are culpable to the highest degree, like bowing down. Person bows down to an idol. A person will pour wine out in front of an idol. A person will sprinkle blood, or maybe some or wine, perhaps, also onto the idol. A person will slaughter an animal to an idol. So these are avodas, methods of observance, which are to the highest degree obligatory in the death sentence for avodah zorah.
Right.
Okay, I'll tell you, it's almost, I think we're not going to rush through this. So I'll tell you tomorrow, we'll start this paragraph again tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And we'll make a summary of it, and we'll continue, Mitzvah Hashem. Okay,
Very good.
Be well.
fine. Gary, have a
Okay.
good day. Mayor, thank
Okay,
you.
take
And Lou, have a good day. Hope to see you all tomorrow, Mitzvah